We're going to do something a little fun today, my friends, yet again. I always like to play around with the formats of these pick-a-card readings to do things a little bit differently and to turn pick-a-card readings on their head a little so that we can have a little fun, we can do things a little bit differently, and hopefully this prevents us from getting bored. All right, so this is how it's going to work today. There will be 4 soul paths for you to choose from. However, each one of the soul paths will be focused on a specific topic. So there's going to be 4 topics that you can choose from. Rather than have the video be about one topic and have individual soul paths to talk about that one topic, you get to choose the topic that you would like to receive messages about today. So you can choose one topic or soul path, or you can choose to listen to all 4. If it is not resonating right now, you can choose another soul path or return to this video at a later date. So with all of that out of the way, let's get started. Hello, my curious souls. My name is Amanda. Welcome. So happy to have you here. If you are ready to jump straight into your reading, all of the timestamps are in the description box, along with anything you'd like to know about the decks I'm using today, links to book a personal reading, and other links that may be of interest. Remember that my readings here are to offer insight, not instruction, so please use your discernment and intuition to navigate your situation as you see fit. If any of the messages do resonate for you today, let me know by liking the video or sharing your insights in the comments. I always appreciate hearing from you. However, if the messages aren't resonating, remember that they are general, not personal. Take what does resonate and kindly leave the rest. All right, so let's get a close-up look of the soul paths today that I have randomly chosen for you. For soul path 1, we are going to be talking about change and progress. And you have the blue kyanite stone. For soul path 2, we are going to be discussing strength and resilience. And the amber quartz, or the amber stone. For soul path 3, we are going to look at cleansing, what needs to be cleared out of your life, or what is being cleared out, and aquamarine is the stone for that one. And for soul path 4, we are going to look at prayers and wishes. What wishes may be coming to fruition? What prayers are you putting out there? What ones are being answered, etc. And for that one, we have the tiger's eye stone. So whenever you are ready, choose the pile or piles that you are most drawn to, click on the timestamp for your reading in the description box, and I'll meet you over there. Hello, Soul Path 1. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Change and Progress card with the blue kyanite stone. We are going to pull some oracle cards. I'm going to get one to start. We're going to look at that one, and then we will get one to end your reading as well. But we won't look at that one until the very end. Okay, so obstacle, overcoming a blockage on your path. This feels like this is what you are moving beyond, whatever blockage that is. And I'm just going to pull the bottom of the deck here for the end of your reading. So I feel like your change in progress is attached to some kind of obstacle that you are overcoming. This could have been quite significant for you, in a sense where it was something you couldn't foresee yourself getting beyond. It could have even been quite emotionally charged as well. But I feel like you have found some way, or are finding some way, to move beyond it. And there's calmer waters ahead. I am seeing the 6 of Swords in my mind's eye. So this could be about a mental shift as well, or an emotional shift. This doesn't have to be something that you're currently or actively facing as it relates to finances or relationships, work or career. This could be within the mind and or emotional body as well. So let's get straight into the tarot. I'm going to get your current energy to start. And then we will get into the rest of your reading here. Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This is very similar to this change in progress card here. This gentleman here, this person has a wand that they are using to push themselves forward. So maybe you're feeling more inspired to do something at this time, or you have more resources, more energy, more time to do something. Let's take a look at your current energy now for Soul Path 1, please, Spirit. Ah, Seven of Swords in reverse. There's definitely a truth that you have come to understand, and you're leaning into that truth. I feel like, again, okay, there's a few things coming in here. First of all, going back to that idea of the mind, something within the mind has shifted, something within your integrity, your honesty, your truth, something within your authenticity, I feel is being put out there a little more. So you're no longer doing things on your own. You're no longer keeping things to yourself. You're no longer suppressing a certain idea or a certain thought, a certain feeling. I feel like this is removing the obstacle because you are willing to stick your foot out, your neck out, to show your true self, to show what it is that you think, your ideas, your opinions, your thoughts. And you're really allowing yourself to stand in your truth a little bit more. You could have really done something or you felt that you needed to do something on your own. There's an independence that's coming through with the Seven of Swords. And it really feels like you were kind of doing things on your own for a while. You were kind of doing things in the dark, maybe not really seeing the light. But I feel you have integrated some information, some lessons here. You have spent some time reflecting on something, maybe even to address some unresolved issues. And maybe seeing where something was misaligned for you. So let's take a peek at more information on what is changing. Or what needs to change. What is changing for Soul Path 1, please? More mind energy. We have the Nine of Swords here. So this is very short-term thinking, but it's short-term thinking that has gone on for a really long time. And what I mean by short-term thinking is that you can only see the issue at hand. You can't see beyond the issue. You are stressing or worrying about something that is quite profound, that is quite significant, but there's something within the mind that has been on loop, that you have been unable to detach from. There's a rumination here. So there could have been a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas that come with this. There's a lot of mental energy being expended, being leaked. The thinking that is occurring here is unable to resolve some kind of problem. It's unable to move you forward. So you're in this loop and you're stuck in place, mentally speaking. This could also be about communication as well. So you might not be able to share your thoughts, the stresses, the worries with other people. And that's maybe what the Seven of Swords is about as well, is doing things on your own. There's a certain sense of isolation that comes with that Nine of Swords of I'm having to figure this out on my own. And now that you have come to understand something, you have learned something, you have integrated something, I feel like this energy is going to lift. Now, if you're still in this energy of not being able to see beyond this current struggle or this current obstacle that you are facing, I think that relief is coming. I think that there is also a perspective shift that is required, and you having to seek out support in order to not do something alone, to relieve some of these burdens that you have carried within your mind, possibly within your heart and your energy. There's definitely a restlessness that also comes with the Nine of Swords, because you're trying to shake something loose here. You're trying to find relief from something. But for some reason, you're unable to process some information in order for you to problem solve or to move beyond it. So that needs to change. How can Soul Path 1 navigate or move through this energy to see progress? So we have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. So again, going back to the original card, we talked about things going on in the mind, where it's thought patterns happening, but it also in the emotions as well, where it could have been an emotionally turbulent time, and one could possibly be feeding the other here, where your emotions are dictating how you think and feeding some kind of anxiety, stress, or worry here. But your thought pattern, the way you're thinking about something, perceiving something, or maybe not sharing something with others to relieve some kind of anxiety, is fueling the emotional fire here and creating some kind of emotional turbulence. So the way to move through this is to release something from the past that you can no longer fix, change, influence, or even adapt to at this point. There has something that has come to some kind of natural end. There's been some disappointment, possibly some loss that you're moving through. And sometimes this energy of stress and worry and anxiety and grief can take a really long time. So it could just be patience that moves you through this and the process of moving through the emotions of it all. So maybe there is some anxiety about the emotions that you feel, and that could be really fueling the stress and the worries and the anxiety as well. So I feel it's kind of a twofold challenge here. I think currently it's in the mind, but it starts in the emotional body. So dropping into your heart space, dropping into your emotional space to really understand what is fueling this stress or anxiety. What is it that you have lost, that you fear losing, that is kind of keeping you in a state of catastrophization? I do see processing this grief, understanding your emotions is what is going to help you move you through this. It's either that or staying in this energy is kind of the two options that I'm kind of seeing here. This is really challenging energy, so I think the first part of this guidance or advice that's coming through for you is to not be so hard on yourself, because this can also contribute to all the stress, the anxiety, the worry, and the emotions that come along with that. Is that I'm not getting through this fast enough. I'm going to be here forever. So again, there's some kind of black and white thinking that could possibly be coming with all of this challenge or this change. So to go easy on yourself, to offer yourself grace, to take the time that you need to process your emotions and understand how that is affecting your mindset and your mental health. There is an aspect of you really understanding the depths of your emotions, of the root of where they're coming from, to better understand and to better learn how to navigate this energy rather than have it hold you hostage. I feel like this energy has the potential to hold you hostage to some regard. So again, seek support where you need it. If you feel stuck and you want to move forward but can't, it might be the time to seek that support and not do this alone, because this feels very heavy energy. This feels like very difficult energy, and it's going to require some level of processing here. So guidance and advice and our potential outcome. I love this. The Empress card with the 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck in the upright. So the Empress is a nurturing energy. Your guidance and advice is to really mother yourself at this time in the most kindest, compassionate, and nurturing way. The Empress is this energy of holding the space for things that need to happen in their own divine time, and to really understand what she needs in order to create the life and the environment that she wishes to create, to hold space for that, to comfort that, to nurture that, to let things flow. So I think this is going to help you progress. I think this is a beautiful pairing, the Five of Cups in reverse and the Empress. This is an energy of really caring for yourself, of self-care, of finding possibly professionals that can offer you a higher level of self-care and maybe help teach you this so that you can do this on your own when things get challenging or when you're facing some kind of difficult obstacle. And this is also Venus energy as well, this Empress. And Venus is all about finding harmony and really tapping into the pleasure and luxury of life, as well as creative expression. So all of those things could really help offer you a sense of self-care. And self-care doesn't necessarily mean that it's all bubble baths and massages and eating well and all of that. It is the hard stuff too, where you are really doing the hard work to relieve your stresses, to relieve your anxieties, to not allow the things in the external world to control where you go, how you feel, what you think. And there's a certain degree where it will affect you, yes, but what are those tools that you can create for yourself to help you navigate this and understand what you can control, what you can't, and do what you can to find ease, comfort, nurturing, lessons, opportunities in these difficult moments. And with the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, there's definitely something that you were leaving here emotionally. So I do feel like there is going to be a process of some kind of emotion, which is going to help you shift your perspective. And there's going to be some wisdom that you gain from this experience to understand what you need to leave behind now. There's definitely something that is being released that is no longer serving you, but it's going to require a little bit of discipline and maybe even some emotional boundaries as well, so that you can carve out space to process and move yourself forward. But I did see at the beginning of the reading that you are moving from an emotionally charged space to something that is a little more calm, and that's what I feel with this Eight of Cups energy. So we have really come full circle here in your reading today. So let's take a look at your final card here. Creativity. Use your imagination. I wonder if dreaming is going to be important for you again, because this Eight of Cups is also Pisces energy, and Pisces is a big dreamer. They're very intuitive. They're also very compassionate and empathetic, as well as imaginative. So I almost wonder if those more divine feminine aspects is what's being called in at this time, for you to utilize your creativity to move you through something difficult here, to sacrifice what is no longer serving you, to capture something new here, something of your dreams, something that you want to create, something of your imagination, whatever it is. But I think that whatever you're dreaming about and whatever you would like to move beyond, it is here. The opportunity is here for you to do that. And I do see really good things once you do move on from this. This could even open up a new space where you create something new, where new opportunities flow in because you are creating mental and emotional space for new things to enter. So that is manifestation at its finest. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 1. I do hope these messages resonated and offered the clarity you needed. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Soul Path 2, welcome into your reading. You chose the Strength and Resilience card with the Amber Stone. We are going to pull an oracle card to start your reading, and we'll get one for the end as well, but we won't look at that one until the very end of your reading, and we'll see how that ties in. So for Soul Path 2, I think I called you Soul Path 2 at the very beginning. Hopefully I did. So Strength and Resilience. What is this in regards to? So you have 2 here. I'm going to pull the bottom one for the end. And we're going to look at this one here. Plot twist. Unexpected development of events. Okay. So there could be something that is occurring in your life at this moment or in your recent past, possibly even in your immediate future in the next couple of weeks, where there's something unexpected that requires you to have strength and resilience. So I'm getting the storm energy from this, where she is standing strong and finding her sense of grounding, her sense of stability in a time that feels quite challenging. Now, if it's not that, then I think Spirit wants to talk to you about how to strengthen and find resilience in plot twists in your life. So maybe you've had challenges, as we all do, with things that are unexpected that come through, like a tornado or a hurricane, and whips us up into a frenzy, and we don't really know what to do with that energy. So I think Spirit wants to talk about that, but let's just check in with your current energy here. Yeah, Temperance at the bottom of the deck. I know I sort of partial shuffled, but Temperance in reverse there is that energy of being really emotionally overwhelmed or overly involved in a situation that really gets us ungrounded. So Knight of Wands is your current energy. This is in reverse, so there's some scattered energy here. You could be moving through something in work. You could be wanting to create something, but you're having a hard time seeing movement. You're having a hard time removing obstacles or blocks at this time. You could even be scattered in multiple directions where you don't really know where to go next, what your priorities need to be, or what you're kind of passionately wanting to follow at this time. Maybe there are other things pulling you away. So there's this push and pull energy that's coming through. And maybe you are a multi-passionate person as well. So you could be wanting to do multiple things all at once. And yeah, maybe there's something surprising that's coming through that maybe has you in a bit of a back and forth, or I'm seeing Two of Swords in my mind's eye, where you get to a crossroads and need to make a decision but aren't really sure, and that can be stressful or challenging as well. So what is this strength and resilience in regards to? What area of their life? Nine of Swords. This came out in Soul Path 1 too, in the same position. So Soul Path 1 might be of interest to you, and it's interesting. I thought that I had referenced Soul Path 1 at the very beginning of this reading, or you could be coming from Soul Path 1. Hello if you are. Yeah, we've got Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, just as a little bit more information. So in Soul Path 1, I talked about, this is obvious stress, worries, anxieties that you are ruminating on. You may even be catastrophizing to a certain extent because there's something that you're trying to solve or resolve, but you're unable to. So it kind of has you carried away. And I'm not really sure what this is in regards to. It could have to do with work or something that you are passionately wanting to put your efforts towards, but you might not be able to in the way that you have, or you're coming up against blocks. So you're really unable to put that effort forward. And this is a very short term. So the person that is in this card, and because this card is ruled by Gemini, Gemini is a very short term energy, or kind of short term thinking. And when it's paired with this Nine of Swords here, it's like you can only see the problems that are right in front of you. You can only see this moment of stress, of worry, of anxiety. You can't see beyond in the distance because it's so overwhelming. There's so much to consider. There's so much to think about. There's a lot on your mind. There's possibly a lot to problem solve here. And that can happen when things kind of come out of the blue. So there is this energy of something coming out of the blue and stirring things up within your mind and not really allowing you to really see which direction to go in or which actions you need to take. So the area of your life that you need a little more strength and resilience in, Spirit is saying within the mind. I feel like you might be a person that gets easily affected mentally when things are challenging and when you can't see the answers, when you can't problem solve right away. There's a discomfort that comes with this card. And so strengthening your mindset, strengthening how you perceive things, strengthening what you can control and can't, especially when it comes to the mind. If you're ruminating on something that you cannot control, then no amount of thinking is going to help solve the problem. So it's identifying the areas of which you can have influence over and what you can't, and learning to release the things that you can't, release them from your mind, release them from stressing about them. I know that is so much easier said than done, but let's take a look. Let's ask Spirit, how do we navigate this energy a little bit more? How do we build the strength and resilience? For Soul Path 2, how do we build their strength and resilience? Okay, so you got 2. I'm going to take 2. There is the 3 of Cups here. So leaning on friends and not staying in isolation, I think, is going to be super important. Also, not trying to start something new or initiate something, I think, is going to help in this energy. This is something, yeah, there's your strength card at the bottom of this. So really learning to, in this card, we have this woman kind of overpowering this lion who technically should be stronger and more powerful than she, but she has learned to really offer this lion compassion, to offer this lion patience, to really come to understand. And this is our lower self, our wild instincts of things that get away from us if we allow it. So it's really getting to know this side of you a little bit more, really understanding it so that you can have a little more control over whether it takes you away or not, whether it keeps you stuck or not, and having it prevent you from making healthy choices or decisions that need to be made in a moment that is a little tumultuous or that is a little challenging. So there's a clarity of mind that's coming through when you learn to manage those impulses that tend to come through when our guard is down. So that's a pretty big card. And we do have mountains in the background, so that indicates really having overcome adversity by learning about our mental health, learning more about our reactions and our thought patterns, our learned behaviors that come through when our guard is down, when we are stressed and worried. Now, getting back to these 2 cards here, we have the 3 of Cups, which is friendship, community energy, leaning on people who have your best interests at heart and who can offer a guiding light or support. This can also be to have a little more fun and not take something so seriously. I'm not sure if that's appropriate, but that may be for some and not others. And having that paired with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, I get this feeling that there's a staying put energy. Like it's not time to do something new or move on or move forward. This is staying put to resolve something, staying put to understand something, to learn something, to work through something so that you can build up resilience and build up strength before moving forward. It's time to befriend your shadow side, your thoughts or opinions that you have of yourself as well. That's part of this strength, is to strengthen yourself by getting to know that, to understand what it's all about. And shadow work can be quite difficult. It can unearth a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that can be tough to navigate. So again, I will say that if you need support in doing that, to find a professional. Do not lean on tarot for that. There's definitely books on the subject. There's probably videos and blog posts, so you can start there. But professionals and coaches and all of that can really help you build your tool belt to move beyond this. So, guidance and advice. And there's the Temperance again in reverse. So, with the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. I love this because you're finding clarity in something again. It might be a little bit of a challenge to do that, but I really think that you are building strength and resilience because you are trying to find clarity. You're trying to create healthy boundaries that give yourself space to process something. And that's going to help this Temperance energy come upright, is to not immerse yourself in this, especially if it's something that you cannot control in the external world, is to manage the emotions within, to move yourself down the middle by pulling away ever so slightly from the things that are emotionally overwhelming you, to create space to process, to ground yourself, to understand something, to problem solve. It's kind of stepping out of the fray, stepping away from the internal dialogue a little bit, to get a higher perspective on things, to see things from a bigger picture, rather than from a place of judgment, rather than putting pressure on yourself to fix it, to move away from it, to resolve it. This is just easing the pressure off a little to give yourself the room that you need between whatever is triggering you in the external world and your emotional response. So building that space in to understand it, to provide a space to ground yourself, and then to re-engage again if need be when you're feeling a little more settled. And really taking your time, having patience in the process of figuring this out. Temperance is an energy of alchemy. It's turning something that is seemingly negative or is impacting you negatively into something different, into something new that you can use to your benefit, or to help this anxiety change forms into something else. There is some opportunity underneath all of this that I think you're going to find. And it all happens in these moments when there are unexpected events that occur, when you need to really dive into the depths to find strength and resilience to move you through this. So let's take a look at your final card. Nurture, water your garden. So we have more water energy here. And I think that's part of this Three of Cups here as well, is to water the things that make you feel fulfilled, that make you feel good, that make you feel supported, that really offer you a connection to that sense of grounding. This connects me to gardening, and gardening is very earth energy. It's also nurturing something else. If it's not you nurturing you, then maybe this anxiety can be relieved by helping someone else, by helping someone else nurture their garden. But I think it starts with you first, and then once you have enough to give, you can then do that as well. But water your garden. Have a think about that. Have a think about what you want to nurture, what you want to plant and nurture, what you are currently nurturing that's not really working for you, but also to befriend that dark side, because I think it has some answers for you. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 2. I do hope these insights resonated and offered the clarity you needed today. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 3. Welcome in. You chose the Cleansing card with the Aquamarine Stone. We're going to pull an Oracle card to start your reading, just to see what context your message might be in regards to, or to give context to this cleansing energy. And then Actually, I'll pull from the bottom of the deck to get a card for the end, which will be revealed after all of your tarot is on the table here. So, cleansing, transmutation, shifting energy, emotion, or appearance. So I think this could be about cleansing yourself of something that is no longer feeling like you. This could be transmutation of emotions, and that's seemingly, or seems to be coming up a lot today. There's a lot going on in the mind, but I think yours is more in the emotions. So you might be shifting your energy, and this is, as a result, clearing something out of your life, removing something, turning something into a different form. So it's like you are alchemizing some kind of emotion here. Maybe an emotion that kept you feeling small or kept you stuck in a certain area of your life, and now you're somehow understanding that emotion on a deeper level to the point where you can transmute that and understand that, have compassion for that, and not have it have the same impact. You could be also changing your appearance as well, so there might be things within your physical body that is changing, and you also might want to change your appearance to reflect how you're feeling about yourself, or how you want to see yourself or be perceived by others, or simply just wanting to express yourself differently as well. So maybe expressing your emotions a little bit more. So let's get your current energy for Soul Path 3. Saw the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck there. Oh, interesting. So many repeat cards tonight. Knight of Wands came out for Soul Path 2. So you might be coming from Soul Path 2. Hello if you are. Or Soul Path 2 might be of significance or importance to you. But as I mentioned when I was shuffling, before I shuffled, it was the Seven of Wands. So I feel like you've really fought for something here. And that is a Leo energy card. So it's again, your expression, your divine will, your passions are coming to the forefront, and you really feel like you want to move forward and push past some kind of obstacle or opposition. And this feels like it's something that you're willing to fight for, whatever it is. Now, with the Knight of Wands in reverse here, this can indicate scattered energy, of really not knowing which way to go, of really not understanding where your passions or desires really lie, or maybe you are multi-passionate and you have multiple expressions or ways of expressing yourself that want to come through. Maybe a lot of things are changing within you right now, the energy, emotions, and appearance. So this makes it really tough to know how do I act in the world? How do I move? Where do I go? What are my goals? So there's a bit of a pause here with the Knight, because they don't really know how to move. They don't really know where to move. So it's kind of this settling energy a little bit, or pausing to understand where you're going first. Okay, so let's see, what is being cleansed out of your life? I want to know what needs to be cleansed, or what is being cleansed. We have the Seven of Pentacles energy. We have the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck there. So I think your direction is changing. The things that once held value to you, or the things that you've put your time or energy into, is no longer bearing fruit for you in the way that it did. And again, I'm getting that you have transformed in some regard, you have transmuted, and because of this, there's this real stepping back to look around, to look at things, to understand what you value, and maybe even find a new purpose. That could be why this Knight of Wands is in reverse, is that your purpose is changing. The mission that you're on is changing. So it's like, well, hold on, before I move forward, before I take action, let's hang out and let's get to know this new energy that I am embodying here. I feel like there's something being pruned out here. Spirit's not being very clear on what that is. It's just saying that something is being pruned from your physical environment. Again, this could be practices that you have. This could be lifestyle. This could be diet. This could be what you find value in. This could be your physical environment. Maybe you are considering a move. Maybe there's certain friends that you are evaluating at this time. Maybe even how you spend money or what you spend money on. Something here is changing in your physical world, your physical environment, and you're seemingly needing to put more restrictions on where you spend your time, how you spend your energy, and what you spend your money on. Maybe what environments you find yourself in. So I feel like you're at this precipice of clearing things out. It's kind of like a spring clean is the feeling that I'm getting from that. But it's because of some of the work that you've done leading you up to this point. Let's see how to move through this energy, how to navigate this energy. Spring cleaning, the Magician in reverse. Okay, so I know you're, I'm getting a ton of impatience here. The Magician is about bringing something within the higher realms, the higher self, and bringing that into the physical reality. You're unable to do that at this time. I feel like you want to do that. You want to move forward, but you can't. You want to create, but you can't. How to navigate this energy is, this isn't a time to create. This is a time to think, to really assess things and reevaluate things before moving forward. When Mercury is in retrograde, this card is ruled by Mercury. When it is in retrograde, we can have all kinds of delays and frustrations and problems and malfunctions. And so it's almost ineffective for us to start something in this energy. It is a time for us to reevaluate something, to think about something, to realign with something here. And I think that's what's happening in this moment, or kind of the best way to move forward or navigate this energy is to listen to the call, to clean something out, to let something go, to have something change form here. Ten of Swords, there's definitely some things in your life that are coming to an end that could be a thinking pattern or how you're perceiving something, mental exhaustion as well. So you've got to some kind of endpoint to say to yourself, I can't do something in a certain way anymore. I don't want to think in this way anymore. So it can be a bit of a darker energy, this Ten of Swords, but it is the darkest before the dawn. So there's some kind of breakthrough that could possibly be happening in this moment that you don't realize until you slow down, you take a step back. And I feel overall you're tired with something here, so something needs to change. So let's see, guidance and advice or potential outcome here. We have too many. The Queen of Wands keeps wanting to come through. So this is this confident energy that wants to come through. And I think that's you. And that is the energy that comes after the Knight of Wands. So I think you will see progress. And you will find yourself in a more confident place. Now, what's interesting, and I have to mention this, the Queen of Wands. And here's the Strength card. Here is your confident energy that you are stepping into. Now, just briefly on that Queen of Wands, she's a very magnetic energy, very dynamic. She knows when to take action, and she's very particular. It has to align with her vision, her mission, her purpose, and the big idea, the big picture that she has for her life, for her projects. And so I think that's part of the guidance or advice here. There's also a lot of fire on the table here. We have a lot of Leo energy. We have a lot of initiation energy, a lot of passion. But there is a call to be in more of a divine feminine energy here, rather than that divine masculine of taking action, of pursuing something. this cleansing, this water is very divine feminine energy. And I almost wonder if there's a little resistance you have, because there's a lot of fire energy that wants to come out here. Leo is here with the strength card, so more fire energy here. But what you're being called to do in this moment is to take a step back, to have a little bit more patience, because there's something that is being removed or needs to be cleansed out of your life. In order for you to see a clear way forward, in order for these ideas, for the new path to open up fully here. And I wonder if divine feminine energy of allowing, of going with the flow, of receiving, that doesn't mean passive. This is going to be a very active divine feminine. So you're not going after something, you're not chasing something, you are kind of turning inward within your life, within yourself, to clear something out here so that you can move forward, maybe in a more aligned way, a more direct way. And we have the strength card here. It's having the courage to control our lower impulses, the things that we want to impulsively chase, those initial reactions of when things get challenging or stressful. What are those initial things that come up that makes us want to act or respond or react that may not be the best for us or the situation? So these could be thought patterns or behaviors that come through in those moments of stress and anxiety and frustration. This is having compassion for all of those lower energies, and maybe that is helping you transmute something here, is you getting to know those reactive states, those anxious states, those shadow parts of you that maybe you haven't really looked at until now, in order to find a new way forward, in order to find a new way of thinking even. The Ace of Swords is the potential for new things. And I think there is new ideas and new thoughts, new opinions, new ways of communication that are wanting to come through here. So it is clearing the space of that old energy, that Ten of Sword energy that we saw, to make way for these new things. So let's take a look at the bottom of your card. Bug. Look out for a divine test. And it's interesting because the sevens in the tarot can be about these divine tests that we sometimes come up against, where it's a test of our patience. Do we have patience to see something through? Do we have the will to push through obstacles and hardships to get to our end goal? And I think that's what this Seven of Pentacles is. It is testing your patience. It is testing your value system and what you possibly believe at your core. What are your core beliefs about yourself, about your situation, about your life? And which ones do you feel need to change? Which ones are helpful? Which ones are hindering you? But I feel there's some kind of irritation that is possibly inviting you to transmute something here, to see the truth underneath it all, to find a new direction with something. But it requires you to really step back and look at things from a very observant point of view, very unjudgmental point of view, to understand it on a deeper level. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 3. I do hope these insights resonated and offered the clarity you needed today. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 4. Welcome in. You chose the Prayers and Wishes card with the Tiger's Eye crystal. So we are going to get a card to start your reading to get a little bit of context. And we will pull a card for the end, which we will look at after your tarot is on the table. All right, so what are these prayers and wishes about? Could be an opportunity that you are seeking, that you've been praying on, that you've been wishing for, that you have been hopeful about. Now, what's interesting is that the chance is in your hands. So even though you have been praying for this thing, you have wished for this thing. I think there's a certain level of action that you are required to take in order for this opportunity to find you. So it's kind of like preparation, where preparation meets opportunity. I feel this might be a time for you to prepare yourself for the opportunity to find you. And you also may need to keep yourself open to opportunities, even if they may not be something you expect or what you think they might look like. It might come in a roundabout way. So stay open without judgment, without shutting something down. Let's get your current energy. I almost wonder if it's coming through in a lesson as well, because we have the Pearl here in this opportunity card, and that tells me that that pearl is typically formed from an irritation, a piece of sand that gets in the shell. And so the oyster, to protect itself and to get rid of the irritation, coats this piece of sand over and over and over again over a very long period of time. I think 7 years or something. So something that you've been doing for a really long time that has possibly caused you some irritation. There could be something in that where you're going to find the opportunity. So that could be something for someone as well. We've got the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And there's something that you're trying to balance here that I think it's been pretty challenging for you to balance. Maybe that's why you're looking for a new opportunity, is maybe there's too much work and not enough play. Maybe you're kind of involved in some kind of chaos or situation that you just can't manage or can't muddle through. You can't quite figure out or organize. But it's like your growth is, you're unable to really see yourself grow in this certain circumstance or situation, and unable to do your best work here. I don't know if this has to do with work, but I really feel an overload is happening here. There's an overwhelm that's happening here. And I think you've been doing this for a really long time. This is possibly causing some stress or tension, possibly with the people around you within your life. That could be friends, that could be coworkers, that could be family as well. Okay, so let's get into the reading now. What do we want to ask Spirit? We want to know about this opportunity or the wish? I want to know about what is the wish. Oh my gosh. If you are here from Soul Path 1, Soul Path 2, both of those got this in the exact same position. There's a lot of collective anxiety going on, overthinking, rumination. I think you want something to finally come to an end already. This is something that's been going on for a really long time, and you've been unable to see beyond it because there's so much going on within the mind that I feel like you're getting to a point of exhaustion here. You're unable to maybe see the opportunity in this because you are so overwhelmed. There's possibly some mental health issues that you've been having. Maybe there's depression, there's anxiety, there's rumination, catastrophization, or catastrophizing. And this has been on repeat for some time. So I don't want to say that it's become a habit or it's become ingrained in your current experience, but that's the feeling that I'm getting, is that it's been going on for so long that that's what you expect. And you can only see in this moment of stress and anxiety and worry and overthinking, you can't see beyond this because it's been going on for so long. It has kind of settled in. So I think your wish or your prayer is your opportunity to finally get out of whatever this is. And then we have, the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom there. This could have a lot to do with, your environment, how you feel about yourself, maybe even what you think about yourself. You want that to change. I almost wonder what if there is something that you can do in the situation to change how you think about something, to change your perception, even change your thinking patterns around this. And that's easier said than done, but that feels like it's coming through really strongly here. Because whatever this is that is affecting you in this way, I don't think can be controlled or changed by thinking alone. I think it requires action for you to get out of the mind and into the heart, possibly into your body as well. Maybe even finding moments of self-care and finding your independence from whatever this thing is. And I think that is your wish, is to find yourself in a better place, to feel better about your situation, your life, your home, your body. Yeah, it's a tough energy. Okay, let's see how you can navigate this. What are the options here? You have a lot of 9s. So there's a lot of focus on self here, which I think is important, because you may even be really focused on the external at this time, maybe focus on organizing other people's stuff and trying to get them in order, but you're not really taking care of yourself in what it is that you need, what it is that you desire. And we have the 9 of Cups here, another number 9. So this is, to navigate this, again, I mentioned getting into the heart, getting into the body, getting into something other than the mind. And I think this is about your emotions, the things that you can truly feel fulfilled with, satisfied with, experiences that fill you up and not drain you. I almost get a lot of creative energy from this as well. So really diving into your imaginations and following some kind of dream here. It's about your sense of purpose, of having grace and hope for yourself in this situation. It's also about understanding and gaining wisdom. What are your emotions saying about this experience? Kind of, I don't want to say ignoring the mind, but just switching gears for a minute. Tap into your emotional body. Are you getting the things that you need on an emotional level from this experience, from this situation, from this environment? But again, because so many 9s are coming up, I feel like you've been really of service to others, and there's a call to be of service to self, because something is slipping away from you at this time. Something is being neglected, and you need to come back into balance again. And the way to do that is to take care of your emotional self, which I feel really help to relieve some of the mental anguish that you've been experiencing. And we have the 5 of Cups in reverse, so there could be a sense of loss that you have to navigate or move away from or process here. And with this being Piscean energy too, this 9 of Cups here, Pisces are very intuitive. They're very compassionate people. They're also sacrificing in a way. So this almost feels like you're sacrificing a part of you for the collective or for something. And maybe you take on other people's emotions too. So be careful of that. Other people's emotions, other people's stresses. So again, it's kind of maybe creating space to determine or discern what those things are and separating yourself a little bit. Because there is a lot of 9s, which is about independence and how you manage these particular aspects of the mind and the heart. Are you taking care of yourself here? So again, I'm getting this feeling of preparation. And this is how you prepare for the new opportunities, is self. Now, as part of the guidance and advice and or the outcome here, I have the Magician. So if you're able to find some kind of mental relief in investing in emotional relationships, in things that really fulfill you and satisfy you, provide a sense of joy and compassion, I really see you coming to a precipice of creating something new here, something of possibly your imagination, of your dreams, of your desires and creativity. The Magician is really good at taking what's in the mind and turning that into something physical that is that creation energy at the heart of it. And the Magician is ruled by Mercury, and we all know Mercury is this planet of communication, and it's about the learned patterns and our thoughts, gathering, processing, and distributing information. It's also very adaptable and versatile in nature. So that's part of that advice too, is there needs to be some kind of adaptability or flow that comes into play so that you can open yourself up to new opportunities. I think your new opportunity has something to do with creation, of creating something, maybe of your dreams, maybe something that you've desired for a really long time, or just in general your future, what you want your future to look like outside of this experience. I think this moment is an opportunity to really contemplate that. And again, prepare yourself to think bigger, to do bigger, to move beyond your current experience. But it's going to require a little bit of action on your part in order to move you forward here. It's going to require a little bit of planning, quite possibly, but definitely intention of, this is what I would like to do, and these are the steps that I'm going to take in order to do that. And it may require a little bit of experimenting here. I'll leave that there because it is at the bottom of the deck. So again, I get a lot of initiation energy with this. So it's about initiating and taking that action, essentially, to be proactive in relieving yourself from a certain mindset, a certain pattern of thinking, and a way of moving through a certain experience and doing something differently. Because I feel whatever it is that is not working for you, it's not working for you in a pretty significant way. So it has to be changed and transmuted to something different in order for you to see the opportunity and to move towards your wishes and fulfillments. And this 9 of Cups is this wish come true card, followed by the 10 of Cups. So I do feel like your wishes will come true. It's all a matter of how you perceive something, how you mentally process something, and the actions that you take to move through difficulty. So let's look at your final card here. Epiphany. Cycles repeat until the lesson is learned. Well, that's an interesting card to end your reading. I don't necessarily see cycles here specifically, but there definitely could be. We come back to this lesson learned, and I did mention that with the pearl here, where there's a pearl of wisdom in this. And I think there is something to be learned in this. That is the opportunity here, is that there's something to learn about how you think about something. Could be yourself, could be something external, what you can control and what you can't. And I think there is a heavy focus here on turning within to not try to control the external like you've been trying to do, but really understand yourself on a deeper level, to understand what it is you need from an emotional standpoint, from a mental standpoint, and honoring that need. So these are the messages I have for you today, my dear Soul Path 4. I do hope these insights resonated and offered the clarity and guidance you needed. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading.